Testing 1, 2, 3, guys. Testing 1, 2, 3. Thank you for your patience, guys. Yo, what's up? Welcome to Vencabot. This is Elite 1984 action. I'm really grateful to be joined by my friends Legalized Ranch and Diggs. What's up, guys?
Yo, what's up?
Hey.
It's a pleasure. I haven't had Dix on the mic in so long. It really is truly now. This is Legalized's first time on the mic after being a Third Strike player for Bruise at Tuesday for quite a long time. It's really cool to have him here. Both these players are being open-minded and trying this game with me from 1984. It is Elite on the BBC Micro. It's a BBC Micro is a English microcomputer from a time where in the US we were going through what was called the video game crash, wherein the Atari 2600, its huge library of totally crappy shovelware totally eroded the public's trust in home video gaming to the point that there pretty much was no home video gaming in that era in the US. Very, very little of it. That was not experienced in the UK for some reason. They had a huge boom of English microcomputers like the ZX Spectrum, the BBC Micro, the Atari ST, and some other American computers as well, like Commodore 64, which was much more popular in the UK, I believe, than in the US. Well, it was pretty popular in the US as well. That being said, Elite is a game from '84. I believe it's 3 years before Super Mario. It's about 10 years before something like Wolfenstein and Doom, which were very early 3D games that kind of popularized first-person shooting in 3D. However, this game, despite being so much older, it is a completely polygonal 3D open world non-linear sandbox where you fly through a procedurally generated universe. Although the generation is the same for every version of the game because the seed is fixed, but it is procedurally generated. You fly around, you try to trade goods between planets to make money. You blow shit up. Wait for this. Stop blowing shit up here. Wait for it. And it's gonna blast this logo here. It's very, very loud. I don't want to try and talk over it. There you go. Yeah, cool vector graphics, right, Aretha? This, of course, these graphics, they are vectorized. That being said, the display of the BBC Micro is pixelated. It's rasterized. Not like this game would look so cool on something like a vector console, some kind of like Tempest in the arcade. That being said, this game, it's really ahead of its time. It still feels very modern today in many respects. Its graphics and sound, I find them to be very, very pleasant, if not a little bit quaint, but very, very pleasant, very enjoyable, and in many cases, very heart-pounding. This game has some really fast-paced action, but the learning curve is very high, so I've, talked, legalized, and Dix into trying the game with me, and now before we get started here, and I'm trying to walk them through the basics of the game, I want to share with you guys the very basics of setting it up. So I'm actually going to walk out of this, going to kill the emulator here, and walk you guys through step by step the basics of setting up Elite. The first thing you want to do is you want to install a program called, let me actually see if I can bring this my crop off here. I'm going to be right back here. So now you guys can see the whole screen here. I'm actually going to get rid of my Vencabot logo here so you can see everything while I'm working in the short term. Yeah, basically what you want to do is you want to go to this website here. It's mkwme.uk/BeebEm. Just punch in BeebEm. That's B-E-E-B-E-M into Google. You'll find this page here. It's an emulator for the BBC Micro English, British microcomputer. Click on this download link here to download version 4.1.8. It's gonna be 418.exe. And then you can launch that and you'll end up with the screen kind of like this. I'm going to go over here and launch BeebEm. I just closed it. Let's see, where's my BeebEm at? It's up here in the B's. That would make sense. Okay, so once you're here in BeebEm, we're going to be playing the version of the game that is the second processor version. This version we're playing tonight actually came out a year after the original version, and it takes advantage of an upgrade to the BBC Micro. So basically what you're going to do with this is you're going to install the second processor by going to the hardware tab here. Go down to where it says second processor. Make sure you have 65 CO2 checkmarked. Now you have a second processor. I also recommend that you go to your view, and when you go to the DirectX full screen modes, make sure it's current screen resolution, because these old English games oftentimes will play at frame rates that are like 50 hertz instead of 60, and that can cause problems with certain video cards if you're trying to full screen it. So you put on full screen resolution, it'll basically be like a windowed full screen, which makes it a little bit easier to actually run the game and not have to worry about your monitor having some kind of weird frame rate. Speed should be set to real time. You can set it to various fixed FPS and make the game run slow, but put on real time to actually run the game at real time. For the sound settings, I recommend going to sound effects and turning on disk drive sounds, because that will allow you to hear when the game is saving and loading, which can make it a little bit easier to tell what's going on sometimes, because there's no loading screen. And that really is about it in terms of setting up the emulator. Make sure that you go to your options and turn on the logical keyboard mapping if you want to use the keys I'm using. The keyboard for the BBC Micro actually was not the same layout as a modern, Windows keyboard, like a modern keyboard for PC. It was very, very similar. It had the same QWERTY layout, but certain symbols were moved around. And as a result, if you read a manual for a BBC Micro game, it can be kind of hard to tell what key you're supposed to press, because you can use either a default keyboard mapping, which actually puts the keys approximately in their correct position. So some games might have you like run and jump, right? Imagine you're running and jumping on an emulator for a BBC Micro game, but on the actual console itself back in the day, those were right side by side. But on a modern keyboard, they're like way across from each other. That wouldn't work, right? So the default keyboard mapping will actually map keys where they're supposed to be, like spatially. We're using the logical keyboard mapping, which maps them based on their what they're called. So in our case, things like F0, the F0 key on a BBC Micro, that'd be our F10. That way, our F1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all normal. I think that's a little bit easier to kind of get across as a beginner. Save your preferences after that, and then you can go here and find the ROM online for the BBC Micro, 6502 SP version. That's the second processor version. Download that. You can run it like this. Go to File, Run Disk, and go to where you downloaded your ROM. I put mine in my ROMs folder here. BBC. Here it is, my version. SNG45 was the game number, the disk number. This is Elite. You can Alt-Enter to go full screen. I also recommend that you guys use something like Joy-to-Key. I use DS for Windows, which has this feature as well. But for your guys' sake, you guys might just use a regular S gamepad instead of like a DualShock 4. Install Joy-to-Key here at joy2key.net. Go to Download. You don't already have it. And follow these instructions. Make sure you download Joy-to-Key Installer right here. Don't click on Start Now. There's a bunch of fucking pop-up ads that are trying to deceive you. Click on Download Joy-to-Key Installer. Install it. It's pretty straightforward. Once you have it installed, you can change your gamepad to send keyboard inputs, which is very useful for certain indie games and emulators. In this case, I'm going to demonstrate how we set the game up for the control method of Elite. I'm going to make a new profile here. Create a new profile and call it Elite BBC Micro 2. I already have one here that I use for testing. Make one for you guys on stream live. So what's cool about Joy-to-Key is that when you press your key inputs, you can see them highlighting what they are. So you go ahead and click on like the up, the POV up is my up key, my up D-pad. I'm gonna make that set to S. In Elite, S is tilt your ship up. Down should be X, that's tilt your ship down. Right should be the period key, that's tilt your ship right. Left should be your comma key. That's tilt your ship left. Super useful. I'm gonna make my my south face button. That could be X on a PlayStation controller, or it would be A on an Xbox controller, right? My south face button. I'm gonna make that one into shoot, which is A. That's to shoot your spaceship's lasers. I want for my speed up button for my spaceship to be my right trigger, or R2. That'll be button 12 in my case. Make that space bar. That's how you speed up in Elite. Slow down, like your brake button. That's gonna be my L2 button. That's my button 11 here. So that is question mark on a BBC Micro keyboard, but on our logical keyboard mapping on a modern keyboard, that maps to the backslash. Is that forward slash? Not sure which one. But anyways, it's in the same spot as the question mark. And you can Aretha, yes. You guys can download my profile. It might be easier to set up yourselves though in this case. I like for my my L1 key. Let me start from scratch here. So I want my triangle key, or my north face button, to be to arm my missiles in Elite. So to arm my missiles in Elite, you press the T button. That's the target button. Once I'm targeted, I want to use my square button, or my west side face button. That's button 3. To launch missile, that's going to be M for missile. And then I want for my select key, or the back key on a Windows gamepad. That's button 7 for me. I want that to be the U button for disarm. That's what disarms the missile, or unarms the missile. And I also like for my L1 button, or my left bumper, that's button 5, to be the E key. Now, once you buy the ECM missile scrambler in Elite for your spaceship, you can scramble missiles. So if they fire missiles at you, you can press that button to destroy the missiles for free. It costs you a little bit of energy, but it's a way to avoid missile fire, which is huge, huge damage. So that's cool. And the final thing I like to do here is I like to bind my R1 key, or my right bumper key, or excuse me, my right bumper button for my gamepad. I bind that to being like macros. So I'm going to go here to button 6 and double click this. Go to where it says special over here. And I want to say here, shift function, switch to a virtual joystick mapping while a button is pressed. So while I'm pressing R1, go to joystick 2's buttons. And up here on the top, you'll see this joystick 2 option, right? I'm gonna click on joystick 2 right there. So basically, while I'm holding R1, I'm using these buttons. And I want for my D-pad, while I'm holding R1, to change my camera for my ship, like my viewport. So I'm going to go to my up key and make that F10. That's how you face forward in Elite, or how you look forward. I'm gonna turn the the right D-pad button while holding R1 to be F3. Yeah, F3 is how you face your right side. I'm gonna go here and make sure I get F3. I'm gonna have the down D-pad button while holding R1 be F1. That's how you view your rear monitor. And then I'm gonna have left while I'm holding R1 be F2. That's how you look out your left side. That's really all I want to do, I think, for my key bindings. So I'm going to save this now. And I believe we're good to go here. So now I'm going to go to my BeebEm and launch the game. The game's already been launched, which is kind of nice. I told my friend Dixucker here that this is really the only real weird thing about this game is this screen. It says load new commander. This screen is weird for a lot of reasons. Once I get my crop set up here, I'm going to talk about that in a second. Be right back, guys. Thank you for your patience, guys. I'm going to put on my little sidebar there. Perfect. So this screen's kind of weird for a few reasons. The number one reason is that it's worded weird. This is from an era where loading games was very, very new still. You didn't typically, save and load games over a long period of time. Most games are just arcade-style games. You would just play them for a few minutes and get a high score, and that was good enough. But this game, because it was so new in the era of loading and saving, their wording here is weird, Aretha. It says load new commander, yes or no. If you want to play a brand new game upon starting up starting the game, you press no. I don't want to load a new commander. And the reason is because when it says load new commander, it means do you want to replace the current commander in memory with a commander from the disk that you saved. So, because when you start a new game, the default commander is a brand new commander, you want to say, no, I'm not loading a commander, I'm using the default one, which is the new one. But if you had saved your game, then yes, you would load a new commander. So let's press the N key to go no. And like Dix points out to me earlier, when you press N, it doesn't work. It doesn't actually seem to do anything. That's because this screen, I'm not sure what caused this issue, but it doesn't always take. So I'm going to mash N here till it works. There you go. So now I'm Commander Jameson. Jameson is the default character in this game. Right now we're looking at the status screen for Jameson. And if you guys don't mind, I'm actually lower the volume of the music here. It's a little bit loud for my taste. Let's see, I'm going to go here and pull this down a smidge even further. There you go. So yeah, this game is an action RPG. It's an action RPG where the idea is that you fly through space and you blast bad guys, and your goal is to upgrade your ship to the point that combat is not quite so goddamn deadly. My friend Legalized said before the stream started, this game feels like a roguelike because you leave the station, you get fucking bodied right away. And yeah, these enemies are pretty tough in this game. So it's really imperative that you upgrade your ship. And to do that, there's a few different ways you can make money. You can trade goods between planets. You can engage in piracy by blowing up, innocent traders like yourself and stealing all their shit. You can kill pirates to get their bounty, and you can mine asteroids to make money from the resources that they have there. All of these are things you can do to make money. But early in the game, your options are somewhat limited because you have 100 credits. It's not enough to buy any upgrades like for mining asteroids. So your options are sort of like, to trade goods with your 100 credits. Go find some pirates to kill, which is tough because you're very weak early on. Try some piracy, which could get you in trouble with the cops, which would not be great because you're still so weak in terms of your level. So yeah, it's kind of tricky. But I think right now, if I had to guess, I've probably got Legalize and Dix. Are you guys all in the new game right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys are at the Lave space station right now, you're looking at the same screen I am, which is Commander Jameson, or your default thing here. Basically, the F keys are your keys for navigating the space station. So F1 will take you to where you buy goods, and you can go through these one at a time. Basically, the vendor asks you one at a time what you want to buy. So you just press Enter to skip things. You can see that there's all these things for sale here. F2 is how you sell cargo. I have no cargo, I just started the game, so nothing there. F3 is how you buy stuff for your ship, including fuel, missiles, and other upgrades. So the large cargo bay can help you carry more cargo. ECM is how you, again, can scramble missiles, very important. The extra pulse lasers, you start the game with pulse lasers on your front side. You can also buy pulse lasers for your sides, your left and right side, and your rear side, which is kind of fun. You can upgrade to beam lasers here, which are way stronger than pulse lasers. And you can install some fuel scoops. These will let you scoop up fuel from the sun. If you want to get some free fuel, you can fly by the sun and grab some fuel. It also helps you pick up space cargo. For instance, if you were to find some space debris, it'll help you get that stuff. If you want to try mining asteroids by destroying them, they'll drop some stuff, and you can pick it up with your fuel scoop. Or you can use it for piracy, or for claiming extra goods from killing pirates. They tend to drop some cargo sometimes. That's all well and good. F4 is your galactic chart. Sometimes if you press a function key to leave a screen where you're spending money, it'll briefly show you your inventory, or like give you a refresher memory on how much money you have. Just press the button again to go to the screen you want to go to. F4 is the galactic chart. You can use the arrow keys on your keyboard to hover over any of these stars, and you can learn about them by pressing F6. F6 is your key for reading about a planet under your navigation cursor. So, Ontiat here for me, it's 15 light years away. It's an average agricultural planet. Its government is confederacy. It's tech level 6. It's got 3.2 billion population of green lizards. Its productivity is about 9,216 million credits. Its radius is about 6,713 kilometers. It has some lore here. The planet Ontiat is scourged by an evil disease. Interesting. And yeah, that's F4 again to go back to your galactic chart. This red circle around where I'm at is how much fuel I have in my hyperdrive. So I can basically go that far without having to refuel. And if you want to click on, if you want to press F5 on your keyboard, you'll end up in the short range chart. This is the same thing we were just looking at, but it's zoomed way in around where we can go. So basically this red circle, once again, it's how far we can go on a single tank of hyperdrive, how much fuel we currently have. And you see there's quite a few planets here. Each one has their own properties. Once again, put the cursor over any of them and press the F6 key to learn all about them. They've got tech level, which determines what kind of upgrades you can buy there. They have their economy, which tells you a rough hint of what kind of things might be good to buy or sell there. And it has their government type, which determines basically the likelihood of being jumped by pirates. So democracies and what was the other one that's really, really good? I can't quite remember. Was it like a utopia or something like that? There's a gradient of your likelihood to get jumped by pirates. I'm not gonna worry you guys about that right now, but know that you can look in the manual for the game to learn all about that. I don't have it all memorized. All I know is that anarchy is the worst, and it's pretty much like you'd expect. Basically, as you go, you're going to get, as it gets more dangerous, you're going to find more pirates, which is pretty scary in this game, very early on especially. So my advice early on is to not really worry so much about the F6 screen here, and mostly focus on exploring planets and looking at their goods for sale. If you press F7, you can see all the prices for your current space station. You can buy things and sell things, and so it's kind of like your way that you can. What I do is I write these down, sophists. I write these down. And then when I'm traveling, between planets, I'm referencing this and going, okay, because these prices do change subtly as time goes on, but it's usually a pretty subtle change. You can get a sense for like what's good to buy and sell where, and that's a good way to make money in this game. I think that we've gone through every function now of the function keys in this game, which is pretty much the entire game. Press F8 to look at your status. You have a legal status. It's like your star level in Grand Theft Auto. If you're clean, then cops won't bother you. If you're above clean, anything past that, cops are likely to bother you. Your rating is your combat rating. It's basically a system in the game meant to encourage players to blow up other ships. What I mean by that is that, unlike other games of this era, there's no win state in this game. There's no way to just win this game. There's no way to make the credits roll. And so as a result of that, there's some different ways players have sort of like agreed is like the win state. And one of them is this rating system. Basically, all it determines is how deadly you are. And it goes up as you destroy anything. If you destroy, little traders that are totally helpless, it still goes up. Destroy cops or pirates, it goes up. And it goes up just based on on how many things you kill, not what they are. And basically, it goes up from being harmless to mostly harmless to a poor fighter to a good fighter, right? To being dangerous. That's where the name Elite Dangerous comes from. And then finally to Elite. Elite is the highest rank of kills, and it's a huge grind. I had never attempted that, but I might one day just for fun. But that's all that rating does. It has no bearing on the game as far as I know, in terms of the way the game behaves. It just tells you how many guys you've killed, basically. But now, without further ado, I'm going to take my friends Sophus and Dix out of the space station by pressing F10 key. You press that, and you're going to finally leave the space station. When you leave it, you're staring at the planet. So right in front of you is the planet, and behind you is the space station. If you pull back by pressing the X key, or whatever you have that bound to on your gamepad, you will eventually turn around, you'll see the space station behind you. All right, that's the space station right there. It's like a little cube, or kind of weird geometric shape. And what I recommend at this point is, when you're first playing Elite, is to sort of just kind of fly around the space station, get a feel for what it's like to navigate 3D space, and how to use your compass here. So your compass, it's this little circle in the upper right of your radar, and you see there's like a floating little dash in it, basically. And that dash refers to where the space station is. So if it is white and centered, it means you are facing the space station. And you'll see that as you turn away from it, the dot will move to tell you how to get back to the space station. And if it's yellow or like dim, that means that the space station is behind you. So that kind of gives you a sense of how to find your way to the space station, as long as you're within range of the space station's beacon. The space stations circle a planet, so if you are too far from the space station to actually center it, or actually pick up the beacon, then your beacon will instead point you to the planet. So you basically go to the planet, get close enough, you can pick up the space station's beacon. That's what the S means. The S on your HUD means that you are in safe space, or let's say government-protected space, and that you are detecting the space station's beacon, basically. They're very similar, right, Sophus? Sophus says here, I used to take ship parts to far-off galaxies and dangerous to sell them for more credits. Yeah, that's kind of how this game was kind of engineered. Aretha says, I love that they kept the same design language between this game and the modern one. Isn't it funny? Yeah, same ship, same station archetypes, yeah, same gameplay loop even. I find it very interesting this game is so similar to Elite Dangerous. But being so much older. It's a very old game. But yeah, so basically I recommend, if you're a new player to the game, kind of float around here a little bit. You'll see that you have these various gauges on your HUD. On the left side, you have your front shield, or your fore shield, and your aft shield. Those represent your front and back defense. As you take damage from lasers or colliding with things, those shields will deplete. Once they are totally depleted, damage will begin hurting your energy banks. Those are the things on the lower right, your 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are your health bar. Now, both the energy banks and the shields regenerate over time. So the idea is sort of to basically, when you're taking damage, just try to kill your opponent fast and or run away to regenerate a little bit. Your shields will not regenerate if your energy banks are depleted. Once your energy banks have recovered enough, your shield will begin to recover, which will likewise then prevent your energy banks from recovering, because they're spending their energy to rebuild your shields, basically. Below your aft shield on the left, you have a FU, which is your fuel amount. That determines how full your gas tank is. CT is your cabin temperature. It warns you if you're getting too close to the sun. If you're getting too close to the sun, it'll go up and you're going to die. LT is your laser temperature. If I shoot my lasers here, you'll see that I can make it go up. If I spam laser too much, my temperature will go up. If it maxes out, I have to wait to shoot my laser again. The AL is your altitude. That's how high you are above a surface that will kill you. If you near the space station or a planet, it'll start to go down and warn you that you're in major danger. Below that, you have your number of missiles. The game starts off with 3 missiles. You can buy up to 4 at one time. And you can press your T key to engage your targeting if there's an enemy on your screen, basically. If it worked successfully, one of those boxes will turn red. If you have a red box, that means that you can fire your missile with your M button, and it'll lock on to whatever you're targeted onto and blow them up. But missiles are vulnerable to a few different things. They can be destroyed by laser fire, or they can be destroyed by an ECM scrambler. So they're extremely powerful. They do insane damage. They'll one-shot many enemies in this game, but they will also damage you by a huge amount if they hit you. And yeah, they're pretty scary stuff. On the right side of your HUD, you have your SP, your RL, your DC, and your 1, 2, 3, 4. We talked about 1, 2, 3, 4 already, right? Those are your energy banks. But the SP is your speed. If I press my space bar, or in my case I bound that to being R2, my speed will go up. I can go really, really fast through space. If I press my slash key, or my question mark key on a real BBC Micro keyboard, or in my case I bound that to my L2 button, I will slow down all the way to a complete stop. And this is not quite a complete stop. You can see that I'm still moving a little bit, but it's as close to a stop as you can get in this game. And so much of navigation in space and combat revolves around managing your speed carefully. This game has a cruise control system, so that you don't really hold the R2 button down like a gas pedal. Instead, you just kind of touch it to raise your speed. And likewise, your question mark button, or your slash button, or your L2 will lower your speed. But it's like a cruise. You kind of max it out. It's more like an increase and decrease speed buttons They're not really like gas pedals per se. It's kind of convenient because you can kind of fly some pretty long distances in this game. So it's kind of a way to sort of manage your speed a little bit here. But yeah, if you're flying through space and kind of gradually mastering how it feels, one thing that's also important to know is that in this game, when you hold up or down, you will begin spinning very, very fast. If you let go, you have momentum. And that can be kind of hard to manage. The same is true for a roll. If you roll real fast and let go, you have momentum. It'll kind of come to a stop gradually. That can be kind of hard to steer. What's important to know is that if you counter steer, you will always come to a complete stop. So this game is like a game of like micro adjustments. So basically, if you're spinning too fast upward, then tilt downward, and you'll automatically stop. If you're going too fast to the right, then tilt left, and you'll stop. So it becomes like a game of trying to make micro corrections as you're flying to sort of make sure you're aimed where you want to aim at. I think considering the limitations of the platform and the time, it's a very impressive way to simulate like analog-ish controls. It allows you to control yourself in 3D space very finely, very quickly, and it's great. So now that we've kind of floated around the station a bit, I should probably talk about the what's called the flight scanner, or I call it the radar, that big thing on the bottom of the screen. It's like a big red circle. That will give you a sense of where things are around you in space. It's very important for dogfights, especially, but also for navigation. So you can see that as I fly this way, we have a little, I'm colorblind, guys, maybe a green or yellow dot there. That represents the space station. And that tells me, if it's behind me or in front of me. The thing in the middle of my flight scanner is me. That's my ship. And that cone, that triangle, represents my vision cone. So that means that right now that little, dot behind me that's the space station, it's right behind me, right? So I turned around by, descending, or let me phrase that, by like tilting downward. I will eventually turn around and see the space station there. Now you can see it's in my cone of vision on my flight scanner, and it's in my front view, which is great, right? You'll see that this little white thing on my scanner, it has a really long stem, right? The stem refers to if it's above or below you. This little white dot is really far below me, so I'm going to tilt down until it's level with me. Now it's level, right? And if I were to go forward, right, and also turn myself this way, I can actually chase this guy. So I can use my flight scanner to get a sense for where things are around me in space. And this little guy right here is who I'm kind of pursuing. I'm not sure why he's going so close to the damn planet. It's kind of freaking me out. But yeah, that's him right there. So it reaches, they have compensation system for that in the newer games. You can turn it off, huh? Getting me like for the steering. I imagine with analog control to be a little bit easier. Yeah, they have the fuel scoop. Yeah, that's what Sophist told me. You can fuel scoop to get gas off planets. What's up, J-Bomb? Whoa, No Man's Sky really improved their graphics, huh? Yeah, this game is kind of like No Man's Sky from 1984. And you can't land on planets, unfortunately. But you can land on their space stations. So, basically, again, if you're new to playing Elite, I recommend just kind of flying around here in space where it's safe. As long as you have the S there, you're pretty safe. And, you can use your compass to navigate back to the space station. In my case, you can see the space station now, it's kind of in front of me because it's a white dot. I'm going to pull up to center it, and there it is. The compass really helps you find the space station that way. Now, these space stations, their docking bay, it's always facing the planet. So if you want to try and dock a station, guys, I recommend that, first of all, you locate where the planet is. That's right up there. I was wrong. There it is. So there's the planet. So that means that the station, the docking bay for the station, it's actually between the planet and the station itself. I'm just going to be probably like over here somewhere. I'm going to go and go this way a little bit. Controller seems so much smoother with a controller, huh? Yeah, movement. Yeah, it's the same. So I recommended to both Dix and to my friend Legalize that they get a gamepad configured, because maybe it's just me, but back in the day they played this game very widely with a keyboard. But for me, for like really fast-paced dogfights, I just kind of lose track of the subtlety of like how to position myself if I'm trying to use these keys. I find it a lot easier, like more intuitive, to use my gamepad. Trending says here, are these 16-bit remixes in the game or a playlist? Yeah, this is a playlist trending, yeah. This game definitely didn't have Big Pimpin' back in the day, for sure. But this game has no music. So if I stop here and look this way, I'll see that this is where the planet is, right? Oh, wait, I'm totally wrong. So the planet is there. So the planet is there, and the space station is over here. Maybe I'm going to the wrong side of it. Yeah, our goal here is to find the pole of the station. You see it's like rotating? The side that has the dock is not like rotating like that. It rotates like laterally, or you know what I'm saying, like lateral to you. So I should find the, I think this is the side right here. I'm going to get the station underneath me. I'm going to turn. Dix's question was, how do you find the actual docking bay for this little cube? And the answer is that you try to get between the station and the planet, and then you face the station, and the docking bay side will always be facing the planet. It's like a little mail slot, so it's like a little mail slot. And it's like a little, you have to use your imagination here, but from the way it's rendered, it's kind of like a little, like rectangle basically. It's like a little, like a CD slot or like a mail slot. And this is maybe the single hardest thing to do in the game. So Legalize says here, it's hard to tell when I'm docking and when I'm dead, huh? Yeah, it's definitely a learning process. I think this is probably the most esoteric part of the game. And I read the game's manual to learn how to do it, and through trial and error, it took a lot of practice. Basically, first of all, you have to have pretty good skill of navigating 3D space, because your first objective is to center yourself over the slot by basically trying to move around 3D space until you are able to point directly at the slot. Not sideways at it, not at an angle at it, but directly at it. If I look at the slot right now, you'll see that I'm probably at some kind of weird angle, which, let's see if I can pull up here and find the station. There it is. So, see how it's like, I can see the side of the station, just a smidge, right? You can see how I can look at the side of the station now. That means I'm at an awkward angle. I have to basically center myself so that I cannot see the side of the station, only the side that I want to see. So I'm going to go this way a little bit. I'm going to pull up, and then give it a little bit of gas, then slow down, then face the station again. And again, I went a little bit too far. It's a little kind of an awkward angle there. I'm going to go this way a smidge, just a tiny smidge, just a little bit. Then face the station again. I'm pretty centered now. This is good enough. So I'm going to, at a total dead stop of speed, again, I'm still going forward a little bit. I'm going to center myself now with the docking bay. Very carefully. Make sure it's centered horizontally first. How's that looking? That's not quite centered. I'm going to pull it this way. Okay. I like that more or less. I'm going to now pull my my reticle up. Now, I'm pretty happy with how centered I am here. I'm not totally centered, but I mentioned on my tutorial on Discord that you don't need to be totally 100% centered on the docking bay, as long as you're pretty close. What's most important is that you are not at an angle coming into it, right? So as you can see from my layout here, I'm pretty much flush with this facing of the space station. As I approach now, my goal is to line myself up with this spinning rectangle. This is the docking bay. I'm gonna start spinning in a second here to line it up. Here we go. Spin. Okay. I'm going to spin. I'm going in straight. Okay. Now I'm going to keep spinning and spin real fast. There you go. I'm in. So, Legalize points out that it's kind of hard to tell when you're docking when you're dead. There's a couple tricks that I recommend for docking. I'm going to do it one more time with you guys. I'm going to press F10 to leave the station, but then here's what I'm going to do this time. F10, then pull on my brake and stop completely right away as I leave. Then you can flip around. This is how I practice docking at first. Leave the station, then stop. Turn around, and go back in. This is actually kind of a weird angle. Maybe it's not going to work. On the Spectrum version where I learned, when you leave a station, you're actually totally stopped already. In this game, you have to slow yourself down. But basically, I recommend going to the station, then leaving it, then turning around right away, and trying to line yourself up very carefully. Going to take some practice. I'm pretty lined up right now, in fact. I'm lined up real good, looks like. I can see only one side of the station. I'm going to center my reticle on the docking bay. And I'm going to approach by giving it a little bit of gas. Okay. See how all I see is like a square? That means I'm perfectly centered. I don't see any other side of the space station. Just the side I'm on. That means that my nose is going straight at this side. I'm very centered as well, looks like. I have a very slow gas. I'm going to slow down all the way to a dead stop. When you enter a space station, guys, always be totally stopped. Because then you're still going forward a little bit. Now I'm going to wait a little bit longer. I'm going to start spinning along with it. Now we're spinning. Okay, so I'm trying to center myself with this thing. Okay, spin, spin, spin. I'm going to get my shields damaged a little bit here. I'm going to go in. So I mentioned a note on my tutorial for this game, and that is that there's one really annoying thing about docking in this game, and that is that when you are looking at geometry in this game, the frame rate is slower. So if you're looking at a space station, the frame rate is actually slower than it would be if you were looking at just space. And you're going to kind of see that, see how this frame rate slows down there? You get used to it, but what you don't get used to is that, or at least my experience, is that when you enter this fucking slot, you're rotating to maintain your orientation with the slot. But if you get so close to the slot that you're actually inside of the slot, you no longer have any geometry on your screen anymore, and as such, the frame rate will speed up. It's very easy to lose your rhythm of being lined up. Actually, it might be kind of an awkward angle here. I feel like I'm kind of drifting down for some reason. Yeah, if I'm at a weird angle, I should probably correct this, yeah. But once you're inside the slot, then you can't really see that well, how fast you should spin. So here's my recommendation I've learned over trial and error on this version of the game. That is, when I'm in the slot, I try to maintain my rhythm for a little bit, then I pretty much stop for a beat, and then I spin as fast as I can, clockwise. That way, if I collide with the bay, I'm at least colliding with it so fast that I will have spun into the correct position before I die. So basically, I recommend getting into the slot very carefully, and then once you're in the slot, basically pause, and then start to spin. Start to spin as fast as you can. You're going to take some damage, but don't panic. As long as you keep spinning, you're going to survive. Because you're spinning so fast that you will line yourself up before you die. And then once you're in the space station, you're going to... I'm going to slow down here. Once you're in the station, you're going to... this is good. We have a little bit more gas. Okay, slow it down. And watch this. I'm going to start rotating right now. Once I'm in the slot, I'm going to spin fast. There you go. That was, pretty easy that time. It's not always that easy, but basically, as long as you practice and as long as you get that final spin, you're very likely to not die. But there is a catch to this. My first time playing Elite, I would always accidentally shoot the space station, and I'd always die. I think if you shoot the station, then you can't get in. That's what I think. So if you shoot the station, you might be fucked. You have to go somewhere else. But yeah, so I left station, let myself fly out a little way straight. Then I stopped completely, turned around. It's a good way to practice docking. Is leave the station, fly out a short distance, then stop, turn around, and then try to dock again. That way it's still mostly lined up. Gonna give a little bit of gas at first to get close. But for the final stretch, go dead slow. So now I'm really close, I'm gonna slow the fuck down. Watch it spin a little bit. I'm gonna start spinning now as well to line myself up with it. Now I'm spinning. Now I'm lined up with it. Okay, I'm gonna spin fast. There you go. That's kind of how you dock in this game. So now that we've kind of practiced docking, we can talk about the next part of the game, which is basically interstellar travel, right? And the way you do that is I'm going to go ahead and just hit F10 to be in space here. I'm going to I'm going to face away from the planet and come to a stop, right? As close as I can to a stop. Now I can press my F4 key, which is my galactic chart, and then my F5 key as well, as my short range chart. Here I can see what my local planets are, the stars and the planets and that sort of thing. Basically, I use this cursor with the cursor keys to put over a planet. And once I have a planet selected, I can press F6 to make sure I'm lined up correctly. This is Leasty here. Yeah, so I'm on Leasty. So now that my planet is selected, I can press the H key. I'm going to actually press the F10 key to go back to my front view. Press my H key to engage hyperspace. And then boom. Now I'm at Leasty. That's really the game's main gameplay loop. It comes from going to a planet, fighting some bad guys, docking, selling stuff, refueling, going to your navigation screens, setting a new destination, hyperspacing there, and then going to the planet. The H. Yeah, press the H key. Houston, we have a problem. Yeah, I'm actually going to see if I can... I'm not sure what caused this screen to get so shrunk. It's probably okay. But yeah, so at this point, because hyperspace is dangerous to use around planets, basically the hyperspace sends you kind of far from the planet, and then your goal is to reach the planet, and once you reach the planet... Oh shit, I'm getting attacked by fucking bad guys. Looks like a lot of them. So let's do some fucking space combat. Okay, so I flew right past them. I'm going to turn around real quick. This is a hot tip, is to joust them, basically. Okay, so there's a bad guy right there. So I killed one. He's very weak. These are very weak little ships. I'm going to slow down here. He's behind me. Now he's going to be in front of me. There he is. Okay, I'm going to blast this dude. I'm not sure why his friend has such low health. Hey, don't hit me. Don't hit me. Don't hit me. Don't hit me. Okay, I'm going to turn around. I'm using my my flight grid to find this guy. So I'm chasing him from behind. I'm going to slow down. I'm catching up to him too fast. Oh, shit! Okay. There he is. I'm going to catch up to him again. He's trying to joust me. Okay. Slow down. He's trying to circle around me. I'm going to slow down into place, and I'll speed up again. He's trying to go away from me. Okay. Slow down. Slow down. He's trying to fucking outmaneuver me here. Speed up. Just a little bit. Okay. Okay, keep him centered. I got a hit on him there. Not sure what that fucking... Oh, shit. Almost got him. He's trying to circle me, but I'm going very slow, making it very hard for him. He's trying to escape me now a little bit. I think he has a friend up there. I'm seeing more things in space. Is that more of them? Slow down a smidge, speed up. What's this guy's deal? I'm surrounded by things. More. This guy's got a ton of fucking health. And I wish I had better lasers here. It's like my music stopped as well, which is fine. I'm kind of speed up a little bit, getting away. And slow down a smidge. I want to get in front of them. So I killed him, but there's other shit around me too. Let's see if I can center some of it. Are these... Yeah, someone's shooting at me. But who? Are you guys all fuckers? They look like fuckers, don't they? I don't know. I saw somebody shooting laser fire. But who is it? Come get me, you fucks. Maybe they're all peaceable? These are just, you know, like traitors. I don't see no more fire coming at me. Whew. Yeah, this is pod racing. What's up, Father Ruckus? Yeah, this game is... So I don't really know what this blue or magenta line is yet. This thing over there. I'm trying to see if I can get it on my radar. Why are there so many of these things? There's so many of these fucking... Are they little ships? There's a lot of shit going on out here in space. I think it's the sun. That could be Father Ruckus. That could be. But I don't think it is. I think I'm not that close to the sun. Anyway. I'm going to go back toward the planet here. So, legalized dicks. Where are you guys at in the game right now? What are you guys working on? You guys having some issues with something I can help you with?
Oh, I'm just playing. I got a couple successful docks now.
Oh, nice. Wow, good. That's really the most important part. I feel like for me, the hardest part of the game was getting those first few docks. Because it is very, very tricky, I feel.
It seems like flying perpendicular to the docking station and then blindly tilting down works pretty well for docking.
Blindly tilting down. Oh, I think I see what you mean. You mean you're flying, like
perpendicular to the face of the dock, or like roughly perpendicular, and then just tilt down into it blindly. Oh, and it seems to work. So
that's interesting. I've never tried that before. Well, I'm glad it's working for you, dude. As long as it's working for you. But make sure you have like a. Oh, I should probably tell you guys this a little bit of advice. So when you're at the station, guys, you can press the tilde by doing like shift and grave accent, and that'll bring up the save screen. And from there, you can save your game. Save scumming is so strong in this game because it's pretty tough. I have fantasies of... So here's that guy I was talking about, that blue dot. I think it's a policeman. I'm sorry, I'm sure they're always policemen. But I have fantasies of doing like an Iron Man run. That'd be really fun, I feel like. Make it like very roguelike. But yeah, for my first few runs where I've learned the game, for sure, especially, save scumming is the fucking truth. So whenever you're at a space station, you can always save. And to do that, you have to have a virtual floppy disk installed. And for that, you can go to your emulator settings by doing, in my case, I have to Alt-Enter to get out of full screen. Go to File, go to Disk Options, then you can do New Disk 1. That will create a virtual floppy for you. It'll ask you to name it and put it somewhere. And then you can, it'll automatically be loaded into that disk slot. When you save your game, it'll ask you what kind of name you want to use for your save. I'm going to put it in Vencabot when I get there. And then it will ask you to give it a number for a drive. So it'd probably be in drive 1, right? There's 2 drives in the BBC Micro, drive 0 and drive 1. Drive 1 is where you have your floppy disk inserted. You can save there. Then you'll hear a floppy disk sound, and then you saved. Yeah, it's really important. Then when it goes to that screen when you die dicks that says, do you want to load new commander? If you have saved your game on that session, then you press N. Because whenever you save the game, it replaces the default commander. So if you press N, it'll put you right back to where you left off, your last save. But if you are, coming back the next day, you want to load your save, you have to say, yes, I want to load new commander. It'll say, from what disk? You say disk 1. It'll say, what's the name? Punch in your name you entered, then it'll load your game for you. That's how that works.
I'm not going to remember that, but I'm also never going to play this again, so that's okay.
So I'm going to demonstrate here in a second how the jump drive works. In Elite, your J button, actually I just realized I didn't bind my jump drive on this profile. It's fine, I'll use the J key. The J key is your jump drive. As long as there's no matter around you, you will this is that beep sound. It means there's something around me still. But if there's nothing around me and I press the J key, I will jump toward the planet. So, and then if I encounter, there you go. If I encounter something, then I will stop jumping. So that's way, way faster than traveling normally. And that's basically, it doesn't jump it jumps wherever you're facing. So if you're facing the stars, it'll jump out toward the stars. But yeah, it's basically the way to travel fast. There's no fuel, doesn't use any fuel. It's basically a way that the game handles the pace of the game, because it's very slow to fly through space normally otherwise. But when you encounter quote-unquote matter, that's kind of like a random encounter most of the time. That'll mean like there's pirates around, or there's a traitor, or there's an asteroid for you to avoid, something like that. So basically, when you're navigating space, you want to jump as much as you can, then it'll stop you when there's something happening. You can deal with it and then jump again. In my case, I jumped all the way to the planet. Once you're too close to the planet to jump anymore, you have to kind of just fly normally and wait. I like to look at the side view mirrors, or like the side view windows. That way there's nothing being rendered, so it goes a little bit faster. And eventually you're going to get closer to the planet, where you're going to have your S pop up. That means that there is a space station beacon you're picking up. And from there, you can do what we did before, which is find your way to it. So basically, the way that you travel between planets in this game is you dock, you buy some stuff, you sell some stuff, you leave the dock, set your next target on your maps, hyperspace to it, then you have to get to the planet from being far away from it. Once you're there, you get the beacon for the space station, you dock, and that's kind of the process. Is dock, hyperspace away, then, fly for the planet again, then redock somewhere else. But that's how you kind of so basically I recommend as a beginner, just sort of buying some goods, going to a planet, trying to find out, what's a good to buy and sell there, and then kind of go back and forth between planets. But you have to find another planet that has a good buy price for what you bought, buy low, sell high kind of stuff. And yeah, my recommendation early on, I'm going to demonstrate this on stream with you guys, is to fly to Odyssey first, the very nearby planet to Lave. And from Odyssey, you can, I'm going to see if I can get close to this planet here. From Odyssey, you can buy computers and then sell them on DSO, where they're very valuable. Then on DSO, you can buy... there's like a weird issue here where I'm not able to see the space station. This happens sometimes in this area. But yeah, basically you can buy liquor and furs on DSO, sell them on Odyssey. And you can buy computers on Odyssey and sell them on DSO. It's a pretty good way to make money early on. I see a lot of dudes out here, but it's not a space station. No, these are a bunch of cops. That's cool. Yeah, it seems like there's a very, very rare bug where sometimes when you go to a planet, it'll be kind of hard to be in the right spot to get the beacon. I'm not sure if it's a bug or if it's by design, but sometimes the beacon signal seems to be kind of hard to lock onto. Let's see if I can find it here again. So if I go toward this planet, I'm eventually going to hit the S range, and this is my pick up the beacon. It's going to say the beacon's behind me, but then I'm going to fly that way, and it's not going to point me to where I want to go. Let's see what I can make happen here. So I'm going to actually go a little bit closer to the planet this time. It says it's this way. Oh, it's probably because I'm on the wrong side of the planet. That's what it is. I'm on the wrong side of the planet. Okay, I see. So I'm going to gradually... Yeah, I have to get over here, basically. Oh, no, I lost the beacon again. There it is. Yeah, it's on the other side of the planet. I'm actually going to go that way. I think that's my problem. Whee! Yeah, I'm still locked on. It's over here somewhere. It says it's... Oh, there it is. Okay, I finally found it. Okay, so I'm going to dock here, and, I think this is Odyssey. I'm going to see if I press the F8 key to tell me where I am. I'm in Odyssey. Yeah, I said Odyssey. It's Odyssey. Go to the station here. I like to buy some computers and go to DSO. And go back and forth. I'll give you some scratch to buy some upgrades you desperately need. And from there, it's easier to explore the universe. I have played this game extensively on the ZX Spectrum version, where the game is way, way slower and way easier. And I have, through that version, tried all the cool upgrades and that sort of thing. But this version on the BBC Micro, I've never gotten all that far, because this version is way harder. It's way faster paced. Enemies are way smarter. So I'm just fucking do my damnedest to survive. I kind of want to try the fucking dick sucker strategy. So when you say perpendicular, you mean perpendicular to the way that the station is facing, you mean parallel to the face, right? Parallel to the docking face, basically. So yeah, parallel to the station face. Yeah, and then you just pull right down. That's fucking sick. Yeah, that seems to work. That reminds me of Star Wars. Isn't that how the fucking, that's how the missiles go in when they destroy the Death Star. It just flies parallel
Yeah,
to the
it
fucking
is.
port and then just pulls straight down.
So it's a proven strategy.
Yeah, I don't fucking trust it, but if working for Dix, I'm happy. But I recommend that you fucking, like, whenever you dock, make sure you fucking save, because you don't want to fucking get blown up and then have to, like, start all over again. Okay. So I'm going to go in like this. God, I feel like I'm at a slight angle here. I think I'm going to be okay, I hope. Oh, shit, slow the fuck down. Okay. Kind of an awkward angle. Oh, I might die here. This angle's really awkward. Okay. Spin! Spin! There you go. Okay, I'm in. I'm in. So now I'm at Leasty. I'm going to use the F1 key. If we use F7 first, that'll show me all the prices here. You can see that the prices for the computers here are at 74 right now. Now on DSO, I can sell them for like 95. So what I like to do is like just buy a ton of computers here by using the F1 key. So it says, do you want any food? I don't want any food. Press enter. Do you want no textiles? Press enter. I don't want no radioactives. No, I'm going to go all the way down until the computers show up. I'm going to say I want 1 ton. Then press enter. Boom. Oh, did I just buy... Oh, I forgot because I've killed a bunch of bad guys. I had some money. Oh. Or did I just buy machinery on accident? I'm a dum-dum. Let me actually press... if I press F8, it'll show me my inventory, right? No, I have computers. Okay. So yeah, so I have more money than I expected because I killed those bad guys. I normally only have 100 credits. So I'm going to go back to F1. And we'll go back to the computers. I can still buy another ton of these things. There you go. So I have 7 credits left. That's enough for me to buy fuel with the F3 key. Oh, I can't afford fuel? Oh, shit. Yeah. Well, I'm a fucking dum-dum, dude. This is the first time it's ever happened to me. I spent all my money on fucking computers. I have no cash for fuel. So here's what I'm going to do, Dix, Legalize. I'm going to save my game by using Shift tilde, like the grave accent. I'm going to make sure I have a disk inserted. So I'm going to go into load disk 1. I actually have a disk I've already made for the saves for this game. So I'm going to go to my ROMs, BBC folder. Now I have my Elite Saves disk. Insert that. Make sure the write protect is off. By default, if you go to disk options, the write protect for the drives is on. And disable drive 1 sprite protect. Now I can save my game. I'm going to press the 2 to save my game. Commander's name, Venka. Okay. Save which drive? 1. Okay, so now I've saved. So my plan is to make a couple more credits so I can get some fuel here. I'm going to go back out. Maybe I can find like an asteroid to destroy, or I can find some kind of pirate to kill. But I'm going to go back out and do my damnedest so I can get some fucking fuel here. I'm literally short 0.2 credits. I could sell one computer that I just bought, which I think technically would be like I would be at no loss, but it'd be more fun to do this way. I think you sell things for the same price you buy them at in this game. So Ryan says here, narcotics, what will the young, impressionable minds think? They can fucking buy and sell drugs, make money in space, dude. That's what they're going to think. And they're going to be right. That's the crazy thing about it. They're going to be right.
Man's gotta eat.
Man's got to eat. So we're going to space now. I'm trying to get away from the space station. And out here you can encounter like random encounters and shit. I'm feeling overly confident because I buyed those other enemies. They're pretty weak. But I've got full shields. I've got full missiles. I'm going to see what I can make happen out here. That S, again, means that you're in safe space. I hear the police will protect you if you're in S. That means if there's like a pirate chasing you, you'll be safe. But if a cop shows up, basically. But the closer you are to the station, I guess the more likely they are to intervene. So if you're getting chased by, pirates, I'm gonna see if I can. No, I'm not gonna jump in it. Oh, here's some bad guys. Here we go. Yeah, okay, here they come. I'm gonna joust them so I can get behind them. Okay, go between them. So I'm gonna spin. I'm gonna slow down to a stop. Spin. Pull him in front of me. And then I slow down so I can keep him in front of me. There he is. Oh shit! He fucking went the other way. Okay, I'm still stopped. I'm gonna see if I can line his ass up. There he is. All right, here we go. Now the chase is on. Okay, speed up a little bit. He's going pretty fast. Oh shit! Oh no, I didn't lose him. Here he is. Okay, slowing down, speeding up. Ah! Come on, you son of a! Got him. A couple hits. Okay, speed up. He's gonna head of me. Stop trying to fucking evade me. Okay. Kill his missile. Ooh, I got it. I got one. He has another friend over there. So you can shoot missiles out of the sky. Keep that in mind. I'm going to slow down. There he is. Speed up a little bit. Keep him in front of me. Keep him in front of me. Where is he? He's over here somewhere. There he is. Speed up. Yeah, he's my radar there to find him. You have to look at the stems to figure out if they're above or below you, basically. He's above me now. There he is. Okay, speed up a little bit. Oh, he's fucking being tricky. Oh, easy game. Okay, so I got how much money for that? So I got about 20 credits for that total. They're pretty easy enemies. I'm going to go back to the space station now and buy some fuel. Okay. Can I jump at all? Am I that far away? Let me see if I can jump. No, this is my J key. No, I can't jump too close to the planet. Okay, phew. Yeah, so my recommendation is when you see, if people are firing on you, if there are ships firing on you, turn to face them and then fly straight at them, but don't hit them. That'll cause you huge damage. But basically, there's a few reasons for this. One is you get some free hits. Two, it's a cheap way to get behind them. You get past them, then stop, and then turn to get behind them. But third, it's a way to take some free hits on your force shield. If they shoot you from the front, it uses up your force shield energy, which is great because most of the time in a dogfight, they're going to be shooting your back. So the force shield is pretty much like free damage at the start of the round. It's a good way to kind of like basically get some free hits because if they shoot you there, it's not the end of the world. You're probably never going to hit in the front again for the whole rest of the fight. So yeah, it'll regen that way.
So if you fly into them, do you damage them as well?
Yes, they'll blow up. Yeah. And
can I upgrade my front armor, shield, whatever?
To ram them? No. But what you can do is you can get an energy. You can get an energy unit, which will double your regen rate, which will make that a more feasible strategy. Which is a super, super important defensive item you can get. Also, a strategy I see very commonly among some players is they will get real, real close to them, then they'll fire a missile right up their ass, like at point-blank range. Which, again, you do that by pressing the T key. If they have something on your screen, that will target them. And then you press the M key to fire the missile once you have your target locked. I've only been recently... So basically, that was never something I used on the Spectrum version. That game was too easy for that. But as I play this version, which is way harder, the enemies are way smarter, I find that I'm using missiles more and more. My number one use for missiles is if you're fighting, like, 3 or 5 guys at once. Basically, when I'm flying at them at first, I will target one and then shoot a goddamn missile and just try to fucking take one out right off the bat. Or if I'm like chasing someone in like a big group, I'll fire a missile at it and then just target it and to turn away and fight its homies. It's kind of a way for me to kind of keep one of them busy. Because sometimes you're fighting 5 on 1, it's mad hard. There's too many guys at once. I know Dick knows what that's like.
So you have fun playing this game?
Hell yeah, dude.
It's pretty fun.
I see. Okay.
I think that, it's fun at first, like the basic like grinding element of just going back and forth. Kind of like, I've heard this game called like Space Truck Simulator, just going back and forth and, chauffeuring shit back and forth like cargo. But the real fun of the game is when you start doing the dogfights. Like that shit is really, really addictive. Because it's very, very fast paced and quite white knuckle at times. But my goal tonight is basically to, I'm not sure if I'm lined up correctly here. I think I am. My goal tonight is basically to, earn some scratch, get some goddamn upgrades, like some beam upgrades, and get the energy unit I talked to you about, where it doubles my regen rate. And then hopefully I'm not as scared to fight these fucking pirates. I mentioned to you guys earlier that I'm really used to the Spectrum version. I put them on a way more than this. And on that version, I was a god. I feared nothing. On this version, like, I always get bodied by bad guys. So my goal tonight is basically to get better at dogfighting. Like, learn some tech, try some new things. I have a new strategy involving, like, if I'm low on health, like, use my flight console on my radar, they call it the flight scanner, to try to fly perpendicular to them. I find this makes me a lot harder to hit. I learned that from fighting them. When I'm fighting them, they'll oftentimes, like, pull up at full speed, so I have to, like, try to crank my neck up to try to chase after them. And I notice that when I do that to them, I'm able to sometimes fly away fast enough that I can start regenerating my shields. But yeah, I'm still, pretty whack at dogfighting. I'm trying to get better at it. But in the meantime, it's so important to me that I get my beams upgraded. And I'm seeing if I can actually line it better than this. Get my beams upgraded and get my my energy unit upgraded. That's something I'm going to need in a big way. Okay, so I'm pretty well lined up here. I wish that's a little bit better. I think I'm going to be okay. I think I'm pretty well lined up. Give it a little bit of gas. Give it a little bit faster. Okay. I'm going to slow down here now. In my guide, I wrote that it's not so important to hit the slot dead on. As you can see, I'm a little bit off center. Please work. Oh, I made it in. Yeah, so I got some credits now. I can buy some fuel by going F3, press 1 key to get to the fuel, press enter to buy it. And I have a full tank again. And I'm going to go to my navigation with F5. I'm going to hover over DSO. Now it's my target destination. Press F10 to leave the station. Then press the H key to hyperdrive. And do it again. Now, this is like the gameplay loop. It's going to put me out far from the planet. I'm going to face the planet. I'm going to jump with my J key. I like to put that onto the east side button on my controller, but I forgot to do that earlier. Yeah, face it, press J to jump. I'm pretty close now. My goal now is to increase my speed so I can reach the planet and hopefully I don't get killed by no fucking pirates. Once I land, I can sell my 2 tons of computers, and that's kind of the loop. And I gradually can upgrade my ship and do my damnedest. And I have a fantasy of doing like a run that is Iron Man and just not like save scumming. But again, that would have been really feasible at my point of skill on the Spectrum version. This version, dude, I'm getting cooked too much by these goddamn pirates. They're too savage.
Rectangles are wrecking me.
Yeah, they're savages. Yeah, I think that, you know, for me, I had a big revelation when I moved from being on the keyboard to being on the gamepad and made dogfighting like way more sensible on a gamepad for me. And at that point, the game's manual recommends the strategy, which I picked up on from there, which was you see some bad guys, you face toward them, and you fly straight at them. Right when you pass them, come to a dead stop and turn to where they're at. And that's going to be a skill you're going to develop in terms of like learning the flight scanner. That's such an important thing. Over time, I got better and better at using the flight scanner in terms of like finding enemies. And then it's kind of, the game makes a lot more sense that way. And then it can be more aggressive and get some wins. But until then, it's going to be very hard to avoid these bad guys. They get behind you and they just fucking cook you. Yeah, right, Ryan. It's kind of similar to Ace Combat, yeah. It's very much dogfighting centric. Also, as a reminder, I'm not within range of the station here. I made it. But yeah, one piece of advice, kind of like a meta piece of advice, is if you find yourself getting, you know, tired of flying toward the planet once you've jumped close enough to it that you can't jump anymore, I recommend looking at one of your other viewports. That way, if the planet's not being rendered on your screen, you get a way higher frame rate. So it helps you travel faster. In general, if you're traveling like a long distance and you feel like it's taking a long time, just don't look where you're going. Think of it as like a metaphor for like the watch pot never boils. Just face your ship toward it and then just fucking look out the other window. It's almost time for me to fucking put on some new music here. But I'm gonna see if I can dock here first. So, Dix, legalize. Later on, you can buy, I think for 1,500 credits, you can buy a auto-docking computer, which is 2 things. One, it saves you the trouble of docking, which can be very dangerous. But 2, also, it allows you to instantly dock anytime that you can pick up the beacon. So it really speeds the game's pace up as well, where once you enter the planet's radius, you can just instantly dock on the space station. It's kind of cool.
It's not like...
I recommend it, but again, it's one of those things where it's like, this game has so many important things to buy, it's kind of hard to justify buying this docking computer because it doesn't help you survive in dogfights, but it is very convenient. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can line myself up here with this fucking dock. And once I'm docked, I'm going to turn my music back on, I think. Okay, so let's stop. Where's my dock at? Okay, so I'm almost lined up. Looks like I went a little bit too far. I want to go this way, just a smidge. Just a smidge. Look back down at it. That's perfect. All right. How's that lined up even? That's lined up real good. I'm perfectly centered. I'm going to give it a little bit of gas, get a little bit closer. Out of curiosity, Dix, when you dock, are you going dead slow, or do you just going like actually kind of fast, or like, with some gas?
Dead slow,
okay.
Basically stationary slow.
Yeah. That's what the manual recommends. And I presume, the reason I asked, I presume that the game's like programmed, so if you're going fast, it just kills you instantly. But the way you're already fucking breaking the mold by creating your own way of docking.
I just didn't want to listen to you or read your massive textbook, so.
Well, dude, you're creative that way, dude. So I'm at DSO now, so I'm going to press my F2 key to sell my shit. It says sell computers. I'm going to sell all my computers. So now I've sold that. I've got 213 credits. Nice, made a nice little profit there. So now I'm going to look at the prices here by going to F7. Now, I know from experience, if you guys are playing it at home or playing it for the first time, you can do what I did, which was fly to a few different planets and write down their value. I use like a spreadsheet to write their prices down. But I know from experience that the wine here, the liquor and wine, and the furs are very, very cheap. I think that liquor and wine is a better profit margin when you're flying to Leasty. So I'm going to buy some liquor and wine. I've got, what, $200, right? Do I have a full tank? I'm not sure I do. Let me go to F3. I'm sorry, F3. And fill my fuel. So I've got 208 credits left. I'm going to just buy as much liquor as I can. So F1. F1 again. Sometimes when you press F1, or whenever you leave a screen after you spend your money or look at a shop, it'll give you like a reminder how much money you have. So go ahead and press the button again. I don't want food. I don't want textiles. I want radioactives. I don't want slaves. I want liquor and wine. They cost 25 each, so I can only buy 3. No. I've got 200 credits, right? So I can buy 7, I think. Oh, actually, I could have bought 8. Let me buy one more then. So I'm going to press F1. F1 again. Okay, now we wait. Go down here to the liquors and wines. We buy 1 ton of these. So I've got 8 tons of liquor and no cash on me. So let me get some, see if I can get the music going here again. I'm not sure how this works. Sometimes this player crashes on DOSBox. I forget, I have to like stop to make it work. Or I have to literally kill, do I have to kill all of DOSBox? I have to kill DOSBox. Well, let's do it. So I'm going to Alt-Tab out of here. Alt-Tab to this. Kill my DOSBox. Run it again. We're moonshining, Sophus. We're moonshining. We're moving liquor. CD Windows. Win.
Young Al Capone.
Like Al Capone, dude. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can go to my my audio software. Creative Media. Shuffle this a couple times. Here you go. Play it. Might raise the volume here a smidge. Oh, now we're talking. Okay, now we can play some more of this game. So I'm going to set my course with F5. Go back to Leasty. Put the cursor over the Leasty planet. And I'm going to press F6 to verify that. Okay, so there's my data on Leasty, so that means we're lined up correctly. F10 to leave the station. H to hyperdrive. And here we go. Move my mouse out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to face the planet. Give some gas. Then press the J key to jump as far as I can until something happens. Oh, fucking the cop just showed up. So I wait for him to get past me, basically, and then I'm going to try to jump again. Now, he's not going to try to hurt me, is he? Oh, shit! Who's this? Is it really a cop? He's trying to shoot at me. Okay, so get past him and then slow the fuck down. I like one-on-one fights, honestly. Okay. Speed up a little bit. Don't let him fucking circle me. Stop. Let him go in front of me. Stop. Okay, let him go. Alright, he's looking toast. He's speed up a little bit once he gets past me. Oh, look at this guy. Now speed up. He's trying to get away. Easy fucking game. Easy game. So he dropped some cargo there. And I can, if I had a fuel scoop, I could grab that cargo. But I don't have a fuel scoop yet, so it's just going to be floating there. Got him, Aretha. Got him. So there's a asteroid over there. I don't think I can jump with an asteroid in my map. But I'm going to line this up as much as I can. And press J. Oh, I can jump. I jumped all the way to the planet. Nice. Yeah, exactly. You can buy a fuel scoop to grab cargo that enemies drop. You can also grab like space debris. You can also use that to mine asteroids. If you have a mining laser, you can destroy an asteroid with it, and also it'll drop good loot. You can scoop it up. So there's different ways to make money in this game. I think that, in my experience, the most valuable way to make money is to just trade back and forth and kind of, but once you, as you make money, you can reinvest it so that you can basically make more and more money faster and faster. That being said, I've heard some people say that to them, the best way to make money is to fight enemy ships. Like, just grinding, pirates is a good way to make scratch. I've never done that myself to make money. I've tried mining, and it's fun, but I don't think it's as, profitable per minute. But yeah, there's different ways to make money. For me, I think trading is the truth. And so basically, pirates, become, something to try to stop you. You have to basically kill them to survive as you try to sell stuff. Okay, so where is... the pole's on this side, looks like. Yeah, okay. I'm going to go this way a little ways. and go past the station. Okay, I'm going to stop. Turn and face it. Okay, so I'm a little bit off-centered here. Yeah, I think it's kind of funny, right? On the Spectrum version of the game, the planet doesn't rotate at all. It's just a big circle. Because that version doesn't have enough like CPU power to make it rotate, I guess. But now that I've moved from that version to this version, I'm like, dude, why does the planet rotate so fast? But it do. It do. I'm not quite lined up yet. I want to be a little bit more centered. I'm not satisfied. I'm gonna go this way, like this. I'll go a little bit fast and stop. I go too far. I went a little bit too far. Go this way and stop. Once again, a little bit off center. Go this way and stop. Was that too far? I think I like this. This is perfect. So I make sure I'm lined up horizontally with the docking bay. I kind of am. Pull up and center vertically. Okay. I think that's about as good. How come I'm drifting? How about this? I think I'm not quite lined up. It's drifting kind of off center. I'm gonna see if I can go a little bit this way. Still going dead slow. I'm gonna turn down and face the planet, or face the thing. Now we're talking. This looks real good. Okay. Get a little bit of gas. Exactly, everything. Excuse as it rotates. That means that basically it's, I'm coming at the wrong angle. Now it's stable. When it's stable, it means you're coming at the right angle. You have to understand, like, you know, the vectors, the way it's drawing the geometry. You have to understand 3D space. It's kind of tricky. Actually, you can see that I'm actually not quite centered. I think it's gonna be good enough, though. I hope. Okay. So here it comes. Slide it in. Spin. Okay. Yeah, it's a really fun game, dude. Again, it's fun to just trade and make money back and forth, but again, the real pleasure of the game is the fucking combat part of it, which I'm grateful we haven't seen that much of yet, because my ship is really, really weak. But basically, I've had a lot of runs in this game, J-Bomb, where they've ended very quickly due to bad RNG and just getting jumped by like 5 pirates at once. And yeah, my goal is to basically make from scratch, upgrade my ship, and then I can start not only surviving against pirates, but I can even go farm pirates. I can actually go to like anarchy planets, where they spawn a lot more, and then just go fight. I wonder if that has anything to do with the limitations of the hardware, so even the warping of the rectangles. Yeah, so my friend Ryan Pixelala pointed out earlier that because this platform has no floating point numbers, it's gonna have some issues like rendering geometry like perfectly like aligned sometimes. But at the same time, yeah, you can use that to your advantage to help you understand like when you're centered on things. Because it'll like, the more like centered and lined up you are, like the less it'll like warp and look funny. Because I can sell my shit now with F2 key, sell liquors and wine, yeah, sell all this shit. So I got a pretty good amount of scratch now. I can buy, let's look at those prices here. So I have very cheap computers right now. I can buy, what, 4? Before I do that though, I'm going to go to F3 and buy my fuel that I need. I'm not going to be a dum-dum again. I'm going to go to F1 so I can start buying some shit. I have to press F1 again because it shows my cash there. Go to the computers. I'm going to try and buy 4 of these. I can't afford it. I'm going to go 3. Okay. So I'm going to press Shift tilde, save Commander Venka. It says it wants my name there. I always want the name Venka. Press Enter. Defaults to what it was last time. Then the drive 1. There you go. Input negative values. Maybe I should try it, Rita. I should try it. But first, I'm going to press F5, bring my local map, going back to DSO. DSO nuts. Press F10 to leave. Press H to hyperdrive. Look out the window, it goes faster. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Here's the planet. Line it up. Give it some gas. I probably can't jump, right? Oh, I can jump. There you go. So let's make sure we don't get killed by some pirates as we go to the planet. I'm going to look out the window to go a little bit faster. When the game's rendering geometry, the frame rate slows down. So if you look out the side window while you're approaching something, you're like a kind of long journey, it'll maybe even like double the speed of your journey. So That'd be a useful hot tip. Just waiting for that S to appear on my map, basically, which means that I'm near the planet enough to get the beacon. I want to avoid this red rock here, this asteroid. You can blow up asteroids in this game, and it will give you some... Is that an asteroid? Actually, that might not be an asteroid. It is. So it's rotating like that. Yeah, so I can blow it up and get like 0.5 credits. It's really worthless. But if you have a mining laser and you do that, it'll give you resources, which is kind of cool.
Can I not read or something? I feel like you get 100 credits per asteroid.
Oh, that's because it shows your current how much money you have.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, honestly, Dix, what's funny is that it was the same way in the Spectrum version, but I forgot that between versions, and I thought this version had like way better yield for killing pirates. I was like, yo, this guy's dropping fucking 50 credits for killing them once. But it turned out that yeah, it just shows your current wallet size. So when you kill something, it tells you how much money you currently have. So you have to do some math in here to figure out how much you actually got.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it seems kind of silly.
I can't crash into planets, right?
If you touch a planet, you die. So to answer your question, yes, you can't crash into planets. But also to answer your question, you can crash into planets. Yeah, if you approach a planet too close, your altimeter will start to freak out, and then you're dead. This song's so sick. So basically, I flew close to the planet, so I'm flying to the station from the planet. It helps me kind of be on the right side of it to see the docking bay. And the docking bay will always be the pole that is most facing the planet. Now, it doesn't always face it, like head on. It'll be most facing it. So if you go to the planet first, it'll help you line up. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit close for my comfort, to be honest. Slow the fuck down now. Look up at the station. Am I lined up? I'm not. I went too far. Go this way. Stop. Okay, still a little bit too far. I'm going to go just a smidge and stop. Okay, a little bit too far still. Give it a little bit of gas. Stop. Okay. Okay, almost where I want to be. Okay, it's gotta be right now. Yes, perfect. Okay, in fact, I'm quite lined up, like real nice. I'm a little bit off center. I'm gonna see if I can fix that. Go this way a little bit, line it up like that, pull it back up. There you go, good. Get a little bit of gas. A little bit of gas. Okay. And the frame rate, once we have all these lines off screen, the frame rate speeds up, so you gotta be careful. Okay, so now we're real close to the dock. I'm gonna wait one more rotation. Now I'm spinning. Okay, get your ass in there. I'm gonna spin real quick. There you go. I'm doing real good with that today. So I can sell my computers here. I'm gonna press F2 key to sell my shit. Press Y. I've got 300 some credits. Perfect. I'm going to press F3. Buy some fuel. So I have 300 creds, huh? So I'm going to press F7 so I can get here. I think I want liquor again for that much. Yeah, I can. So basically, your cargo bay can only hold 20 tons, guys. It only is 20 tons. If you buy the enhancement, you can hold 35 tons. So I'm going to buy as much liquor as I can. So just like in real life, press F1. Fuck the food. Let's see, so I got 300 some. So I'm gonna probably buy like, I can afford more than 10, right? Afford more than 10. I can afford probably 15? No, how about 14? I don't want to do math. I'm just gonna do trial and error. There you go. Okay. So I got quite a lot of scratch there. Let's save the game again. So I'm Venka. I press enter. Which drive? Number 1. All the textiles. Textiles and food are really good when you want to fill up your deck early on in the game. But I find, again, because I'm experienced, I know that basically my favorite trade route is Leasty and Deso. And I have to go here and just basically grind a little bit until I have good weapons. I'm going to go back to my F5. Go to Leasty. There's also, like, I think Riorti. If I go to Riorti, there's more, like, a similar system up there where you have, like, a good place to buy fur and liquor and a good place to buy computers. But this works for now. I'm going to press F10. And my fantasy is to eventually reach Elite at some point, which is to say to just kill hella fucking bad guys. But for that, I want to first, let me jump here. For that, I want to have good guns and good, good energy unit. Maybe, of course, the ECM, obviously, and a bunch of other shit that's really, there's some pretty good power-ups. If you go to Leasty, you're going to find it's like a tech level 10 planet, I think. That's pretty much all the upgrades. You can kind of browse them and see what their prices are. You want to fight me, asshole? Not every white thing on your radar is an enemy, but this guy is. Oftentimes they are. So my theory is to always, if you see somebody like flying at you, or like on your flight scanner, and they're like white, just always face them first. Like don't let them get behind you, basically. So if they're nice, they won't shoot you. If they're bad, they will shoot at you, and then you can just shoot them back and do your thing. Oh, you're toast. Oh, easy game. Don't get hit by this fucking cargo. I don't have the fucking scoop yet. Okay. So we gave me like 15 creds, not too shabby. I think we gave me more than that actually, right? We gave me like 17 creds.